So the Russians claim that they've tracked the path of that truck bomb that took out the bridge, and seemingly the explosives came in through the same port that both sides have agreed to leave open for grain shipments.
Yeah.
So it went from there and like bounced around behind Russia into Russia, and then came over the bridge, you know, and blew up.
Right?
What's that?
Sevastopol, I think, is the city, the port.
Oh, that I don't know. But I just
conclusion were to draw from this path. I'm not.
They're not supposed to be put. The agreement disallows weapons going through that port. They're leaving it open so that the grain can flow out of there and the world doesn't starve. And Russia and Ukraine and everybody else has agreed. Okay, leave that one open. So if they moved explosives through there to blow up Russia's bridge, that's not something that's good for anybody.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. Did you see it? All right. Let's talk bombs because I've made a bunch of them.
FBI, open up!
Let's talk bombs.
Was awesome. That was awesome. So I choose to believe that what they had there was 5,000 pounds of like high explosives, like artillery shells and stuff like that, or something.
It wasn't just like a Timothy McVeigh bomb.
No.
Okay.
And then something about this, and I choose to believe they did it on purpose. They hit those rail cars full of fuel that are adjacent, like over there, and immediately hit like 7 or 8 of them, rupturing them, and that's what caused all that fire. So they fucked both sides up.
That's a good point. I didn't. My dumbass didn't even consider it wasn't a coincidence that there was a train full of fuel next to the explosion.
Like it must have been shooting shrapnel. Is what I'm saying. Like, it must have been, like I'm imagining shells. Like if you just have like, I don't know, a big pile of C4, for example, that doesn't shoot as much shrapnel. The truck goes everywhere. It kind of vaporizes. But if those fuel things are getting ruptured at that distance, which looks like 70 meters or something, maybe less, whatever, there's like shrapnel, lots of stuff is hitting it, and it happened to immediately pop them and ruptured them.
But it would have been fine if it wasn't gas train day, right?
the trucks can't go across the bridge now, like the semi trucks. I think maybe they're letting them over like 1 or 2 at a time because they're worried about the fucking vibrations on the road that's left. So it's fine for mom and pop to drive over, but these trucks full of food and military stuff and just supplies that normally go into Crimea to fill their stores.
Did they shut the channel down for like food? Like, so this channel is where like
there are 900
part where the boats go.
Yeah.
There are 900 semi trucks in a line waiting to go across this bridge right now on the wrong side of Crimea.
If I understand it right now, if you would take a current picture, there'd be a barge next to it repairing the bridge and not vehicles passing over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Just to really quickly be very clear, I don't want Russia to win. I do want Ukraine to win. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Like that.
Yeah,
I'm just like. I'm skeptical
we need
about the current
simple
situation,
binary answers here.
But yeah, I want Ukraine to win. I hope Ukraine wins, but I'm also just like I'm very cautious about
Ukraine's going to win.
Believing how much they're winning.
I'll take that vote too. If anyone wants to take a vote on Ukraine winning, I think Ukraine's going to. They may end up with less territory than they had, but not by a significant amount. Not like those 4 territories that he's annexed and all of Crimea. Like it ain't going to be that. Where they're getting more of that back, and they're getting peace, and they're.
If the U.S. stays involved, there's, I would say, like 1% chance, like Russia has any shot of winning. Yeah. If we're involved, even just pouring money and resources, like, just doesn't seem like they can keep up. Like they don't have that capacity. No. Maybe I'm wrong. I also don't know fucking anything about any of this. So who knows?
You have a platform. You're required to speak on this topic.
I that's what I do. I speak authoritatively about things I saw in passing while playing Magic.
We talked before about who took out the Nordstrom pipeline. I don't know. There is an argument to be made that Putin did it.
I don't think that makes sense to me. It makes. I mean, like I think we talked about it on PKN. Like you just look at like who wins the most from it and who loses the most. Like Russia takes the biggest of L's, losing that money and that bargaining power. Meanwhile, who's coming up, smelling like daisies? The U.S., who now is getting more control over Europe's energy. We're going to offer to fill in that gap, I guarantee. And, Russia, sorry, Putin, billions of dollars that you just spent on that infrastructure. oops, it's not paying off, is it? Because now you can't do that, and you can't hold your energy providing over the head of Europe to get them to do what you want.
$25 billion.
Because that's why Germany wasn't giving money to Ukraine, because Germany was afraid of Russia. And so now this being eliminated, like,
he wants the German people to not support this Ukraine war. He wants their prices to go up. He wants them to be freezing. He wants them to have an energy crisis. So Putin wants to stop selling energy to Germany, but he can't just stop selling it. Otherwise, the solution is easy. Replace.
He doesn't want to stop selling energy to Germany. He makes a ton of money, billions, doing that.
He wants Germany. He was trying to break the will of Germany. That's the argument that people make. He wants the German people to stop supporting their government's support of Ukraine. And
the counter argument. I mean, today I read that Putin offered to continue giving Germany gas through Nord 2, right, the other pipeline, and they said,
does that thing exist?
No, both the Nord Stream pipelines got hit. That's the thing is, prior to
one
this
of them's open.
Neither of them were even actually transporting natural gas to Germany when they went out. Apparently they haven't been transporting natural gas to Germany for a little while. So that's the question is, like, why would Putin hit his own pipeline that was already not transporting gas? Like, it just,
to use it was
transporting gas to Europe. Like I saw the gas bubbling up, right? There's gas in there.
To use it as a threat, he would go, I'm turning your gas off. He wouldn't destroy his own infrastructure.
There's a problem. You can't do that, because then the solution is put in someone other than Putin who will turn the gas back on. By breaking the pipeline, he gets to stop selling it, and he gets to keep his job. By breaking the pipeline, he's removing the influence he held over Europe by being their principal provider of energy. When those pipelines are destroyed, now Germany doesn't feel the threat of the gas being turned off or turned down, because it's already been taken off the table. But now he's executed on that threat. The German people will go cold this winter. The German people will not want to participate.
He could have done that anyway with turning it down and not destroying tens of billions of dollars.
Then Putin puts himself at risk, because they'll put someone in that chair who will turn it back on.
What makes you think that?
By breaking the pipeline, he gets to have his cake and eat it too. He gets to stop selling it to Germany, and he gets to not be under threat of them finding someone who will sell it to Germany.
No, he's bombing his own cake and feeding the remainder to the United States, if that's what he was doing. Like that, he's destroying he's destroying his principal source of income in the middle of wartime. Like, he needs that fucking money.
Yeah. But the pipelines were switched off when they were hit. Neither of them was transporting gas to Germany. And if I remember correctly, they actually had a whole thing with Austria a couple weeks ago, where they almost shut off their gas shipments through Austria to Italy, because they wanted to make sure they were actually going to Italy and not getting rerouted to Germany, because Germany is
I'm a little
country
confused.
With the energy crisis.
So when you say it wasn't going to Germany, do you mean that Germany wasn't purchasing the oil that's clearly being shipped to their country? I know it's going elsewhere, right? It's going to
the Nord Stream pipelines were not. They were switched off.
Then why was it leaking that enormous?
They had
amount?
methane. They had methane in them to keep the pressure.
I
don't know. I just sent you I sent the article.
I don't want to read an article right now.
It's from AP. It's pretty short.
I want to be spoon fed.
But the point is they were not transporting oil or gas through the pipeline.
Well, is that relevant though? Like
because
that they weren't there, that there wasn't gas moving through it at that instance. That doesn't change the fact that Germany was planning on getting some gas out of there at some point this winter when it got cold, right?
They always have.
So I could be wrong. My understanding was that the pipeline, like whatever agreement they had, the pipeline was not transporting gas, and that's why it was kind of confusing. This happened. It does have methane in it to keep it pressurized, but again, I'm not a gas expert. Like, I don't know how this shit works.
Yeah, but still, I don't understand. Like that's their pipeline. It's where they get their gas. They didn't have it turned on today. Irrelevant.
My understanding is that it has been switched off for a while. That's just according to the I don't know why. Like,
you're making these points and I feel like you're getting at something, but I don't know what it is. And all
right, so here we go. In this specific case, when it got, and here's why I'm skeptical about everything, but in this case, it had been shut off for a 3-day maintenance issue. So according to this article.
So
according to this article, in recent weeks, it had been running at 20% of capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know what to conclude from that. I'm with Kyle on there. Like, it's running at 20% capacity. Does that just mean they didn't need 100%? They couldn't do 100%? Like,
that's all the Russians were giving them because they've been
I would imagine it's all the Russians were giving them because Germany did want more. Like, Germany's got all those fucking ads and shit out there now. Like, you don't need hot showers. Like, conserve energy. Do this. Like, their costs are going up greatly.
Yeah, because
that's why nuclear plants. That's why it makes sense to me, at least, that like those Nord Streams are a huge bargaining chip and income source for Putin, and for him to lose that weakens him dramatically.
I can't remember what China pays per barrel of oil, but I don't think it's what they get from Germany at all. I think it's a significant discount. Can you fact check me on that, Zach? Because I think I read something the other day that the Chinese were paying like way less. Like they would much rather sell their shit to Europe than the Chinese.
I could.
My understanding is that now they're selling it to China, and China is then shipping it to Europe or some shit like that. Something ridiculous.
That's so China.
Oh yeah, the Russians make money, the Chinese make money, and then Europe is just fucked because they shut down their nuclear plants.
I'm surprised the U.S. military is not buying it for an extra high price. Because
we're also selling our strategic oil reserve to China. Like,
to China?
Yeah. Biden sold something like a fifth of our strategic oil reserve recently, and I think it was like 1 million barrels of it went to China, if I remember correctly.
Why would we do that?
Who fucking knows? Like he's been emptying the strategic oil reserve to keep gas prices low. Like the oil reserve is lower than it has been since like 1945 or something.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. 1945, classic good year.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, it was probably high because we were in the war was ending, so we stopped holding on to so much, right?
China being at the top here.
It's supposed to be like during peacetime, it's supposed to maintain a certain number of barrels.
Makes sense.
And I guess now we decided that this is not peacetime anymore. For us.
So are our prices, like they're anticipating it's going to go up?
It's anticipated that after the midterms, our prices are going to skyrocket. If the Republicans, I don't think it matters if the Republicans win or not. Basically, they're suggesting that they're keeping gas prices low so that gas isn't an issue for the midterms. And then I think the Saudis just released a statement, which it's the Saudis, so you can only trust it as far as you're willing, but basically saying that Biden or the U.S. requested that, and when you hear U.S., read State Department. So the Biden State Department requested that they hold off on cutting production for a month. Which they asked them to hold off on the announcement for a month. Like, okay, I know you're gonna fuck us by lowering your oil output, but can you do it after the midterms? Yeah, exactly. Which is what Trump got impeached for. But they're just they're all fucking crooks. Exactly. Every single one of them.
They are all crooks.